Motion carries. May I have a motion to adjourn the special meeting?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Councilmember Nelson.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second. Motion by Councilmember Nelson, second by Councilmember Hewish. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.
Oh, yeah?
How about the man? Love it. I love it.
Yeah. In what town?
Mr. Mayor, for temporary time.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please stand as we, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, today we want to pray for our country and this atmosphere of violence around our country. Lord, we just pray for peace. Keep our families safe, our law enforcement safe, keep our troops safe around the world, and give us guidance, Lord God, and wisdom as we conduct business for City of Douglas. In Jesus' name we pray.
Item number 4, roll call.
Mayor Robert Uribe. Mayor Pro Tempore Danny Morales.
Present.
Councilmember Ken Nelson.
Present.
Councilmember Donald Hewish.
Here.
Councilmember Patricia Lopez. Councilmember Ivan Hewish. Councilmember Fernando Betancourt.
Present.
City Manager Jim Russell.
Present.
City Attorney Juan Pablo Flores.
Present.
City Treasurer Luis Pedrosa.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tempore for the record. Mayor Robert Uribe.
Thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome.
Item number 5, persons wishing to address the council in writing or verbally on any item not on the agenda. Ms. Aguilar, do we have any requests tonight?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Pro Tempore, I have 2.
Mr. Alex Espinosa?
Good evening. Good evening. Congratulations on your attempt at more politics. For the past couple months, I've been requesting some records, and it's not what I'm supposed to be getting, or the public. These are public records. I have asked and then they'll tell me that there's money, that all these questions are in regards to the mayor. A lot of those months are missing. For any type of audit, if there's no activity, you've got entries. I'm not getting on any of that. I don't want to get nasty or nothing. I don't want to get the Attorney General involved because we don't need a black eye more than what we've had in the past years. But this needs to be addressed. I'm coming to the council because I can't be doing emails back and forth. You can't resolve anything with email. And I'm not going to talk and sit down with somebody in your office. I just want what the law provides. For any citizen to request those records and get them without, a lot of these documents you can't even read, a lot of these documents are irrelevant, a lot of them are very questionable. It's at the point where it seems like they don't want to give you information, or they might not have it, or whatever it may be, but I'm not getting it. It's my right as a citizen. I'm trying to do this as a civic duty. I have nothing personal to gain from this. Nothing. On the contrary, I've had a lot of issues going on because I'm so outspoken. I have asked for documentation on why the mayor has taken these trips to certain places, and in some instances he used city funds and reimbursed the city. But by law, from what I've read, you cannot use the city credit card for personal or anything and reimburse the city. That's what I read. Maybe I'm wrong, but we need to get to the bottom of this. On one instance, and I please need you all to look into this. The mayor went to the League of Cities. It was from like the 22nd to the 25th. That was the program. He didn't check out from where he was at until 3 or 4 days later. And I want
30 seconds remaining.
And we need to know why. So if I don't get what I'm asking for, I'm going to go to the media and I'm going to go to the Attorney General's office. I'm not playing around with that. This is not for me, for one individual in particular. This is for all of us. This is our tax money. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sims. Ms. Sophia Ochoa?
Mayor Broham and Council, thank you. Sophia Ochoa came to me probably around a month and a half ago, 2 months, with regards to the Uber Lyft idea that she has, and I want to have her. She's kind of shy, so bear with her. Ask if you have any questions about the information she provided to each of you, and if you do, now's your opportunity.
Hi. Have any questions? Is there anything you could do about any passengers maybe by Thanksgiving?
Madam Clerk, are we allowed to ask any questions to this one?
No, Mr. Mayor, but it's really good for information only, and so.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add, Ms. Ochoa?
I think that you should help with getting Uber here. It would help a lot of people and
Good.
first and safe, people getting home safe, and just wanted to come not just for my benefit, but I don't have anything.
Madam Clerk, if I could just have the privilege of the chair. Thank you so much. I did read your packet, and I'm sure others have as well. And we'll get in contact with you through the city manager. Thank you so much. Appreciate the proposal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great idea. Item number 6, City Youth Council report. City Youth President Luna.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. On behalf of the City Youth Council and myself, I would like to present our monthly report for the month of October. Throughout the month of October, it consisted of hosting 2 events for teens, On Friday, October 20th of 2017, we hosted an art contest at the 2017 Binational Art Walk. We awarded 2 gift certificates for first and second place to the Blueberry Cafe, and through this we were encouraging youth to get involved in community events, and the gift certificates were to help promote shopping at local small businesses. On October 21st of 2017, we hosted a teen movie night at the City Hall Council Chamber and gave free popcorn and drinks. On Monday, October 30th, 2017, we had our monthly meeting where we discussed future volunteer participation in the 16th annual Walk, Run for the Cure Turkey Trot Race. We would also like to mention the encouragement to come out on Thanksgiving morning and participate in the Turkey Trot to support the Douglas community and its cancer fighters and survivors. Thank you for your time.
Just a question, City President Luna. Did we have winners for that particular art contest?
Yes, we did have first.
And that was the Blueberry Cafe, or who was it? Okay, great. Well, congratulations to Alex Bonet and the Blueberry Cafe. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, sir.
If I could just make a point of information, we did begin live feeding the city council meeting on Facebook tonight, so you are all on camera to give you that piece of information so that you have.
Thank you so much for mentioning that. We want to also thank, on that note, we want to thank the IT department for making this possible. This is I believe it's the first time that we've done this?
Yeah, we've been playing with it for the last couple of council meetings, just trying to get all the bugs tweaked out, but tonight is our first live.
And just another privilege as the chair, if I may, Mr. Manager, would you happen to have that address so that people could maybe tweet it out or Facebook post it?
I do not have it on me. It is on our Facebook page. The link was a post was made just before council.
So if they would go to City of Douglas Facebook page, they could share it,
yes,
and so forth. Thank you so much, and thank you to the IT department. On our front page as well. Thank you, WCAV.gov. Awesome. Thank you. So everybody, smile away for the camera. All right. Item number 7, reading of proclamation by Mayor Pro Tem Dan Morales in support of a statewide and citywide attainment goal and a world-class education for all students. So I have the proclamation right here. And is our friend, our very good friend, Ms. Galvez, are you here? Yes, you are. Thank you. You can please come up, and I'd like to present this to you.
Commissioner President, before you present it, would you go ahead and read?
Absolutely, I'd be honored to do so. Proclamation from the City of Douglas. Whereas the City of Douglas recognizes that we have to make education a top priority in our community to ensure a strong economic future and a higher quality of life for everyone. And whereas the City of Douglas understands that our future economy and workforce demands will require more than a high school diploma, and only 42% of Arizona adults currently possess a degree, certificate, or industrial credential. And whereas the City of Douglas recognizes the need to improve educational attainment across the state and in our local community, and supports the statewide attainment goal of 60% by 2030. And whereas Expecmore Arizona and the Center for the Future of Arizona, statewide nonpartisan organizations, have launched an Arizona Education Progress Meter by which we can measure our progress on attainment and other key education indicators. And whereas the City of Douglas believes in the importance of the community coming together and significance of partnerships to achieve big goals and tackle large issues like those defined by the Arizona Education Progress Meter. Now therefore, the City of Douglas, Mayor and Council do hereby proclaim for the statewide attainment goal of 60% by 2030, supports the use of the Arizona Education Progress Meter as a tool to make progress toward the attainment goal by tracking the priority indicators for our local community, and affirms that we are a world-class education partner with Expecmore Arizona and the Center for the Future of Arizona. Will heretofore work together to advance a shared vision for education. If witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Douglas to be affixed this third day of November 2017, signed Robert Uribe, Mayor of the City of Douglas. Congratulations. Members of the City Council come down for a picture as well. Thank you. Come on down for a picture. And also, you may not know this, but Selena here joined us at our first ever youth retreat, city youth retreat, out in Portal. And, this lady has some determination, okay? She got lost, what, maybe 2 or 3 hours, and she didn't give up. She was there for us, and she gave, from what I heard, an awesome presentation. I had to reach her before you did it. But thank you so much for doing that as well for our city council. So, yeah. Here you go. Thank you. Thank you. City Youth President, you're welcome to stay or leave or whatever you like. Thank you so much for your report. Thank you, members of the council, for joining me down. Item number 8, presentation discussion of Patty Beltran, U of A South student intern, concerning economic development study of Douglas businesses and Facebook advertising results. Ms. Beltran.
Mayor Pro Tem, council members, staff, all the people in the audience. It's been my distinct pleasure to work with Pati for the last probably 4 months since we got here, and we've actually worked together on creating 2 presentations we'll be receiving today. I think from this young lady that has letters from Cancun, she has a master's as well, handling all the tourism for the Cancun hotels. She's been able to do some great things for us here, and we're privileged to be part. She's actually been an asset to the city of Douglas. So, without further ado, Pati Beltran.
I believe she's also, are you an INIBECA scholarship winner too?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
For a program called Move.
Awesome. All yours, the floor.
This month, okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today I will present the project. I have been working during my internship in the Economic Development Department with Ms. Well, the first project is titled Douglas Social Media Presence, and the second one is a research called Local Businesses and G Avenue, which is a joint project with the University of Arizona. Well, the purpose of Douglas Social Media Presence was to promote Douglas events on Facebook and Douglas as a castle in order to bring more people and tourists to the city. This plan just focused on the Mexican baseball fiesta, if you remember the event. Well, for that I opened a Facebook page called The Douglas AC from September 15 until October 16. During that time, I performed as a community manager, who is the person that sees and posts in social media. Well, when you open a Facebook page, it's free. And when you do your advertising that way, it's called organic advertising because you don't have to pay for it. But if you want to have better results, you have to pay for it. And it's called, of course, paid advertising. At that time, it was decided to use paid advertising and advertising to the men and women who are Arizona or Sonora residents and between 16 and 65 plus years old. During the time the Douglas AC Facebook page was active, it achieved around 400 photos or likes in page. That number means the number of people who is interested in the Douglas AC post. Also, more than 3,000 people interact with the Douglas AC post. What are interaction? Interaction works when someone gives a like, when someone shares the post, or when someone leaves a comment. photos, likes, or interactions are good social media indicators of the performance of the page because they are showing how attractive is the content of the page. Then, if you have more interaction or more follows, that means that you are delivering attractive content for your potential post. Well, some highlights here. In total, it was paid to Facebook $85 in the period of time I mentioned before, around a month. Well, how are the results? In total, it was reached more than 72,000 people in that time. What this number means, the number means how many people it was reached and how many people saw at least once the advertising we want them to see. This number is integrated by two ciphers, paid advertising and organic advertising. I'm going to explain that before. But we paid 85 and we reached 73,000 people with paid advertising, which means we pay for it, of course, and as a consequence, also we reach more than 9,000 people. How organic advertising happens? For example, if I want to reach Jim Russell, I'm going to pay for reaching him, okay? But maybe he lost my post, then he's going to share with his friends, and I'm not paying for it, and I'm going to reach his friends. That's when organic advertising happens. Then if you divide the $85 we pay to Facebook, you are going to notice that for reaching one person, it was paid way less than a penny, you can see here. And also, think about it. It was this thing just for one event. Imagine what can we do with more events. Then you can see. Well, now I'm going to show you some posts and comments in Douglas AC. I want you also to notice that with Facebook advertising, you can have free feedback. Because when you pay for advertising, you are just paying for people to see your ad. But you can force or you can pay for people answering, That's why Facebook, the Douglas AC was free feedback for the event or for what they think about the city is doing. Okay, on the left you have the Douglas AC post here, and on the right I highlight some of the most important songs. This was about the Mexican baseball fiesta, as I said before. I asked, do you have your tickets? Los Cañeros and Los Naranjeros are waiting for you. And also the Douglas AC was kind of a bilingual page. Then that's why Shumoni Montaño writes in Spanish, but I'm going to translate it for you. Thanks to you, God bless you, and I hope this event is a success. You are good hosts and good organizers. Congratulations to Douglas AC. Okay, I will show you another one. Like I said before, when you are trying to achieve some interaction, you have to throw something that engages people. Like, for example, now again on the left we have the Douglas AC post, and I ask them, which is your favorite theme? Let us know in comments. And of course, people is responding to that. We have, I think, more than 200 comments in there, like Naranjeros, Cañeros. And also here, organic advertising happens because, for example, I use pay for Rich Juan Alvaro Villalba. But he tagged some of his friends. Then again, organic advertising is happening, and we are not paying for that, This post was did after the event. It's a little brief of the event. More than 200 people having fun, blah blah blah. And people, like I said, free feedback, some PPP friends. Well, now also, Douglas AC received some private messages, inbox messages, and again, Francesco Ibarra said to Douglas AC, "You're welcome, thanks to you, keep bringing this kind of events, congratulations, and coming with 5 of my friends." We just pray for which Francesco Ibarra, but Francesco Ibarra is coming with 5 friends to the Mexican baseball field. And Doris Quintero says, "Okay, I hope this kind of events happen more often in our city." Thank you. Like I say, I think million of times. Free feedback. Now, for example, if you pay to advertise in some magazines, maybe you are never going to get that feedback. And Facebook pages are giving us that. A good option for advertising. Okay. Now, maybe you have some questions. Please, I will ask you to write it down and wait for me until I finish the second presentation. Now, this is a research I did on whole local businesses in G Avenue, focused on characteristics, marketing strategies, and other owners, managers, demographic profiles. This is a joint project between City of Douglas and the University of Arizona South. That is why I'm here. And I would like to start this presentation with an anonymous quote that says, consumers must be first aware of a business before choosing to go there. It's a key word here in Douglas or here in the G Avenue, awareness. Okay? Because if people doesn't know that you exist, how they want to go there, you know? This is the content of the research. I'm going to start with the research proposed, G Avenue context, methodology, participants, findings, some field observation, conclusions, and some recommendations. Well, the main purpose of this research is understand the business panorama in G Avenue. For that, we want to identify demographic characteristics of the owner-manager, determine local business characteristics, discover which marketing strategies are they using, and analyze business image visual effects. This data could aid to enhance the actual panorama in G Avenue. Well, walking around G Avenue, it can be found 9 vacant lots, 30 business closed, 51 local businesses open, other buildings as schools, maybe a consulate, maybe the government center, and 8 big businesses or franchises like Melrose, which means that kind of businesses, they are not just operating. Well, we are just going to focus on small businesses in G Avenue. This is a qualitative approach, which means these results only apply on the research participants. It was gathered data through 2 sources, a survey and researcher observation and analysis. The survey had 20 questions. It was conducted face-to-face in businesses and was applied during September until October. The participants are 20 small businesses which belong to the retailer, services, and accommodation category. Also, we just interview owners and managers, and that 70% of them are not families. Well, the research findings. This chapter is the information we gather to the survey owner, and it divides in 3. Business characteristics, owner demographics, owner managers demographics, and marketing strategies. Well, in here we want to discover what the businesses are missing or what are they doing concerning to business success. Okay, I'm just going to highlight the most important percentage that you have all the information in here, and also if you have questions, I can return when I finish. Well, talking about gender, the 50% of the survey are male and the 50% is female. Okay, and the largest age group survey is in their 50s with a 40%. Talking about the ethnicity, the 85% of them are Hispanic or Latinos. Talking about education, the 45% of them are high school graduate, diploma, or the equivalent. Now, concerning to business background, when it was asked if they own or if someone in their family own or had owned a business, the 32% say yes, my parents. Okay. When they was asked if they have personal experience in similar business, the 70% of them say no, I don't have experience in similar business. Well, now talking about business characteristics, for reach the break-even point, you have to be sure that you are covering all your expenses, that all your revenues cover all your expenses. And when I ask them if they know their break-even point, the 55% say, what a break-even point? Kind of a shocking percentage. Also, when you open a business, you have to know what are you doing as a business and where do you want to be in 10, maybe 20 or 30 years. And when I ask about their mission and vision statement, the 30% of them say what vision and mission is, with that 30%. Okay. Now also, regarding to client characteristics or profiles, the 70% of them say, I just know some characteristics, but it was kind of funny when they say, I just know if they are young, if they are old, if they are Hispanic, or if they are white. That's the only kind of thing they know, but they are not keeping a record or even a database of their clients. And also, when I ask about what is the number of your regular clients, or also they have a database, and the 75%, if you're saying here, they say no, I don't know, you know. That's worry also with the break-even point thing. Talking about customer satisfaction measurement, the 55% of them, they don't measure the customer satisfaction. And the 40% say yes, but when I ask, how do you measure? They say, I'm just asked, are you happy? And if they say yes, well, then it's an informal way. And also they don't keep a record of them. Talking about business competitors, they say, yeah, I know them well, I know their name, and I learn their location because they are next to me. Keep in mind this. They are just thinking the business competitor is the person who is next to you. They are thinking that. Just keep in mind. And talking about marketing strategies, regarding to advertising, the 37% of them use social media. But this is another interesting thing. I'm going to do another analysis later. And the second percentage important is I don't use advertising. Like I said before, awareness. If they are not using advertising, how can the consumers or clients can know if they exist or not, you know? Talking about promotional strategies, the 50% of them uses this discounted price. Okay, this is the case, but also you have to be careful again, because they might be devaluating their product, you know. Also, they have to be careful because if they don't know their break-even point, you know, they are not generating enough revenues in order to cover all their expenses. That's why they have to be careful with the discounted price. And again, this is a tie, but the second percentage in importance is I don't use promotional strategies. They are not motivated or incentivated their customers to buy more or back again, you know? Well, I don't know if you know, but monthly the Economic Development Department in a joint project with the Small Businesses Development Center, they are offering monthly classes, and those are for free, you know. And I don't know you, but if, as a businesswoman, I would try to take advantage of every opportunity or every training I can get for free, you know. Yeah, right. And when I ask if they are aware of the SBDC classes, they say the 55% say yes, right? But when I ask, are you attending to those classes, the 95% say no, I'm not attending, you know. That's shocking because the classes are for free. And also, when the classes start, we're at 10, and the Economic Development Department changes earlier to the petition of some of the assistants to 8.5, and they are still not coming, you know. I promise that other businesses, not the businesses in GI, but it's a shocking percentage. Also, I asked them about what are your training topics interest. And the 32% of them, they say, I want to learn about social media, you know, but also it's interest. When I ask about others, maybe I'm not a negotiator, maybe not accounting, maybe not finance, maybe not marketing, maybe not customer services, which other one? And they say, no, I'm not interested. I don't care about the classes, I don't want to go. I don't want anyone to get messed up. They ask, they say that. I finished with the information gathered through the survey, and now I'm going to tell you some field observations I did during I was doing this research. This field observation is divided also by two parts. The first one is about physical appearance of the businesses, and the second one is about social media performance. Well, talking about business image visual attractiveness, you have to consider at least three things. The first one is the merchandising or the decoration of the store, also indoor or outdoor photos, and business signs. Well, considering those three things, we find that the 35% of them are attractive. Now, talking about social media performance, the experts say you have to consider three things in order to measure the social media performance. You have to measure the number of the follows, the last post date, and the time it takes to reply. Well, when you open a Facebook page, also you have to be careful because there are two ways. Like, I'm a person, I'm Patti Beltran, I'm just a user. But if I have a business, there's another process, you know? It's different, and some of the small businesses doesn't know that. They just open, and sometimes you are going to see the 10% when it shows no information means that they are not opening in the correct way. Then, followers. Considering followers, the 40% of them have between 1 and 99 followers, which means that the top of the people who is going to see their posts are just 99%, you know? And according to the standards, this is a little bit low, this is a low number. Considering last post date, also experts recommend that you have to post daily and at least once. And the 40% of them are posting between 1 day and less than 7 days. Now talking about interaction with followers or time to reply, like I said before, we found here no information. That means they are not open their face, okay? They have no interaction, which means anyone is interested in their post, and 10% of them are not replying, you know. Sometimes it's better not open your Facebook page if you are not going to be active, because that can be worse for for your business. Some of them take 1 day, and the 40% take 1 hour. Well, we almost finished. Well, conclusions. We can understand that some of the businesses are not active, they are not committed in order to improve their business. Talking about mission and vision, they haven't cleared their organization purpose, neither goals nor aspirations. Talking about clients, they think they don't know, they don't need to know their client characteristics. They think that. Also, like I said before, keep in mind, talking about competitors, it's kind of funny understand that they think a competitor is just my neighbor. They are not thinking in other locations, or they are not thinking even in online stores, you know, and that's shopping. They have to understand that a competitor is every person who is competing for the money consumer, you know, they have to understand that. And talking about break-even point, they aren't sure how many products they have to sell, or even what is the minimum correct price to offer in order to reach their break-even point. Like I said, they are just using discounted prices, but they are not sure if they are covering all their expenses. And they have low social media performance. Or, again, you have to be careful. Sometimes it's better not to open a Facebook page if you are not planning to be active on the social media. Now, some recommendations for the research participants and for the City of Dallas. The first part is for the participants. Of course, sometimes advertising is expensive, but they can advertise it as well, you know. Maybe like Douglas store, maybe Shoppers in Douglas, I don't know. And it's going to be cheaper if they do as a group. Also, they can do cross-promotion, you know. Cross-promotion, what cross-promotion means is I go to the Milancito, I buy in there, and they give me a coupon for going to the OK Fashion Boutique. Also, if I go to Auto de Board Supply, they maybe can give me a flyer to go into Audio Edition. Maybe if I'm going to the ABC Craft and Floral, they can give me also a discount for the special rolls. You know, that's cross promotion. I can do that in order to help all of them. They need to enhance their physical appearance, because sometimes for me, also look for me. I know for the Douglas population it's easy to understand if they are closed, if they are open or closed. But for me, was really difficult to understand if they're open or closed. Sometimes I have to go there and trying to see through the window or knock the door in order to understand if they are open or closed. And imagine if someone of IP came here and they don't know. Say, oh, it's closed, I'm going, you know, and maybe that door is open. Also, they need to improve their social media performance. And now, for the City of Douglas, I recommend create a kind of business incubator and work with workshops, which means not just, it's okay, they are activity classes, of course, and they have to keep doing that, but also they have to help the businesses, of course, community businesses. Maybe if I'm a restaurant, maybe I should use I don't know, maybe I should use the yellow or the red color, because that's for restaurants or for establishment related. Also, I recommend to do this same research back with all local businesses in Douglas. And that's. Do you have any questions?
Members of the council? Any questions? Well, thank you, Ms. Beltran, and Mr. Carranza as well. I just want to say it's an honor to have you, and congratulations to U of A South. Congratulations to the Consulado too. This is a great success story. Most recently, our fiesta. And my understanding is, you may be able to correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to do it again next year, about the same time. Next year is going to be televised, is that correct? And just to give a comparison, our beautiful city, sister city, if you will, along the border, Nogales, had what, about 200 people in attendance?
About 300 people.
300 people, and we had how many in attendance?
Over 2,000.
Over 2,000.
Sorry.
Not to brag or anything like that, right? But thank you so much for your part in making that possible. It's a great success story for all the agencies involved. Thank you so much.
President Mayor, council and staff, and all the fans of Pati in the audience. She's been a joy to work with. Let me just tell you that. One of the things that she came here to do, and I'm sure you already realize that, is to perfect her English.
Oh.
And it's excellent. And then what she helped me along the way is perfect my Spanish. So there's a good relationship there. But thank you. If you have any questions that you want to share with Pati and myself later, please write them down and send them to us, because I think what she presented today is not only sobering, but it's excellent information.
Just one question, if I may. Is there going to be a proposal that's going to be delivered back to Mayor and Council as it concerns these recommendations?
If you want that, I'll talk to the city manager and see what we can come up with. Absolutely.
Is there any way also that we could give, I know that they don't go to some of these other, meetings at SPDC that hosts, but is there any way to give them nuggets as far as recommendations, just like on a single sheet of paper that we could circulate to these businesses, make it easier for them?
Yes, what I've done to encourage more participants, and Jim knows this, and I think Luana knows this, and some of the businesses that are in it, I physically go to them.
Yes, thank you.
And the reason I do that is since I've been here, some of the findings that Pati gave to you tonight, I knew already, and just by talking to the people. But I wanted to have statistical information to present to you and the Jim and the rest of the community, showing them how we can actually improve this. And I've already implemented some of the things he's recommended, but we need to continue doing it because of the lack of sophistication between all the businesses along G, and probably within the entire community of Douglas.
Well, again, congratulations. Thank you so much for all your hard work. This is testimony to binational cooperation. We understand this here in the city of Douglas. Unfortunately, other communities don't understand that particular relationship. But this is something that we prize, and it's something that we want to share to the rest of the world. Thank you so much. Thank you. Great job, everyone. Go on again. Time is 6:44. Item number 9. Presentation, discussion, decision on approval to authorize the city manager to proceed with an audit by utility construction company for costs and expected savings associated with citywide conversion from lights to an LED project. Mr. Russell.
Mayor, President, Council, when I came aboard back in January, one of the things that was asked was to kind of bring some ideas and experiences that I've had in my previous employment. One of the biggest projects that I've worked with bigger cities is to find some cost savings and relieve some pressure off the budget through more energy efficient and cost efficient means. Shortly after I got here, I was approached by Utility Construction, who is a member of one of the co-ops that the city belongs to, and we had this discussion. And so tonight is the opportunity for you to kind of see some of their preliminary information and projections. And if this is an interest to the council, some direction for us to continue forward with a complete audit and moving towards the project itself. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Jeff Daniels.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Good evening. Just a brief introduction of our company. Utility Construction has been in the Southwest lighting industry for the last 25 years. And in that time, we gained special experience in the LED conversion process. Recently, we've completed, and we're part of the team that converted the city of Tucson, Casa Grande, to LED. We're about halfway through the process of converting the city of Glendale to LED, and just starting the city of Phoenix. So there's a lot of momentum in this project. We took the lessons learned from that and successes from that, and put together this preliminary budget and call it the project feasibility. And we'll go through it. Previously, we worked with Jim to kind of show some of the other intrinsic benefits of LED lighting, like the increased color acuity, increased color temperature, and how they can affect public well-being, like the last presentation, curb appeal to some of these businesses. I can provide some more pictures to the council if you would like after this, but this presentation is just about the numbers we did from our preliminary audit. So we're going to go over all that now. So we did two sections, street lights, which were recently acquired by the city for the maintenance responsibility for those, and facilities, which included this building, fire station, police station, and all the parks, as far as we knew. And our goal for this project, and when we put together this audit and preliminary numbers, was to yield a net zero payment package, which essentially means that the city has budgets for energy and maintenance expense now. The financing term would be negotiated and spelled out so that the payments were less, yielding a net positive cash flow for the city from previously budgeted amounts. So this is kind of an overview of how this energy saving performance contract works. It's kind of hard to see here, but we have completed the feasibility study of this thing essentially. And in our preliminary audit, what we did is we took the master inventory list from APS for the streetlight section, and we physically walked all the facilities that we understood were owned by the city of Douglas and the city Douglas paid electricity for, and did a count from the ground along with city staff to help us advise us kind of what was there. The next step in this process would be to do an investment grade audit of that, which we've done a lot of the upfront work for that, but the investment grade audit will get into more details of what those are. Pin down the exact utility rates, pin down exactly how much light fixtures are using, more importantly, how the city, how the staff, and how the facilities are using those lights to accurately project that, and give a baseline in order for us to establish a guaranteed energy savings curve, period, whatever that turns out to be. So this summary here is just kind of the snapshot of everything all together thrown in there. So project costs based off of real quotes from the other work we've done in cities around the area there. What you have there in red is the APS rebate amounts. We were actually able to get that secured, pre-approved by APS. We got that done in about 24 hours. APS sent out notification that they're no longer doing rebates for items measures going forward. So we have until November of 2018 to complete the project if that rebate money is going to be no longer offered in previous weeks. Energy savings there, if we're going to do the whole thing, about $109,000 a year in that. And based off of implementation costs minus rebate and energy savings, simple payback period of around 7 years, 6.5 to 7 years on LED projects which are guaranteed to last 10 years. So that's kind of the foundation of how an energy saving performance contract will work. So to get a little more detail of some of the things we did in our preliminary audit. Street section, like I said, we took the APS information that they've been building base of electricity on, took that, did a one-for-one replacement with the LED light fixture. On the left-hand side there, you can see the information we used in our analysis. Right-hand side there is crunch the numbers and it turns out, shows what it is. That's a little bit higher payback for the street light section, but there's less question and up in the air what's there because of the record of the APS has. So some notes on that, like I said, we assumed a one-for-one replacement based off of what we've done throughout the city. LED technology is changing so fast, by the time we get to this, we can do some value engineering to see if we can do a better job on that. we use the APS, existing inventory data. From what we've seen, we know that that's off already. So as part of the investment grade process, we're going to know exactly what is installed at what location. The maintenance savings was used based off of a cooperative purchase of one of our contracts. We have to, in the investment grade audit process, work with the city to figure out what that new cost is going to be. It's definitely less than what APS is doing it for, but we need to be able to pin down the exact number on that. So these risks here are essentially items that we want to figure out during our investment grade audit that could affect the payback of this project, affect the savings of it, affect what the final cost is going to be for it. Exact final count. During our investment grade audit, what we do is a DIS survey of everything. So at the end of that, you're going to get a deliverable of latitude, longitude, what's there, where it's at, condition of it, all that kind of stuff. So we will have a firm bill of materials by the time we're doing this audit. APS rate change. The APS rate is always going up. In this preliminary information, we didn't assume any sort of utility escalation rate. Part of the whole engineering that goes into this investment grade audit. Rebates always subject to availability. We've always traditionally been paid on rebates when we get to the point we are now. But APS caveats everything, saying it's up to us whether we're going to release this money or not. But they've been very responsive and helpful in developing this project so far. Maintenance costs, like I said, we need to pin down the accurate cost of what you're going to save on that. And the final selection of light fixtures, we can do photometric analysis. Once we do the detailed GIS survey, we put the right light in the right locations and increase the light here, make it a little dimmer over here, and we have that kind of flexibility once we do that. So the facility section, this what we did, found out based off our walk there. The biggest thing that we need to really look at when we do our investment grade audit is the energy charge for the electricity for that. We have a pretty good idea that 9 cents a kilowatt hour comes from APS, but the city has 90 different APS accounts, all spread out everywhere. Yeah, so what we will do is we will really look at those in detail and figure out how those rate structures are done and what lights are applied to those, and get a precise number of how much money, not just energy, you're saving from changing to LED. Right-hand side is the summary of the information. That has a 5-year payback for all the facility stuff. So that's how we get the aggregate of about 6.5 years. So some notes on that. We found out that Town Hall here, City Hall, did a fluorescent upgrade in 2010. There was motion sensors added to a lot of locations, but not all the facilities got that level of detail. So, for instance, the park facilities still have the real old fluorescent technology, so there's a big margin for payback there. There's still good margins in this because the LED technology is so advanced now. So that's kind of the thing we figured out when we were watching around here. Like I said, the APS bills, there was a bunch of outages, so when we say you're going to save this much energy, you're going to save that much energy on a light bulb that's not working, well, it's actually take physical measurements. Sometimes the lights burn out, they use more energy than when they're on. Sometimes they burn out, they're not using anything. So those are all the engineering analysis that goes into the investment grade audit, so we can pin down, provide a savings guarantee on this thing. The sports lights and some lights like what you have right here are already LED. We're excluding those because there's no payback in there. But after the audit, the city has the flexibility to take the savings and upgrade some of those things if we choose to do it. Some of the risks of things that we want to look at during the audit are the same. The big thing is going through all 90 APS bills that you guys have and make sure we've got everything lined out there. And that's all I got. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
So Mayor Pro Tem and Council, the intent is to get a more energy efficient product in the end, to have the proper type of lighting for the proper task that's being done, whether it be street lights or whether it be in-house lights within the buildings themselves, park lights. To take the money that we currently have budgeted for the electrical bills, let's say that we have $100 budgeted. And the intent is through these energy efficiencies that you are no longer have a bill that comes in for $100 that money is paid for. Let's say the bill comes in at $75. Now you have a $25 difference. That pays for the lien that actually generates the work. So we're actually paying a lien back with the energy savings that we capture. What utility construction does, they go in to calculate that to determine what that savings will be based off of a complete review of all of our bills, a complete audit of all of the lighting pieces themselves. So they physically go out, and APS says we have a street light on the corner of 10th and G. They go and make sure that street light is physically there. So what happens over time, you get duplicate building, you get this building. If we have a light pole that's there, it's not on APS, we report to them, hey, we've got this light pole here, well, why isn't it on this? So it's kind of a comparison audit between the two, APS and utility construction. But the initial intent is once we get the bill, the lien paid for in the 6.5-year time period, we continue capturing that savings, which means that we reduce the amount that we have in our budget to make the payment bills and are able to use that excess in other areas.
Mayor Pro Tem. Mr. Russell, thank you, Mr. Russell. It's fiscal impact on this on the agenda item is to be determined. So you're asking for authorization to proceed with an audit, but what does this audit cost?
The cost of the audit moving forward with the project is folded into the project itself. So there's no upfront cost for us. Now, if we got to the point where council changed their mind or decided they did not want to go forward with the actual conversion, then we would owe the balance of the audit back to utility construction.
Do we know what that approximately is?
$50,000.
This is an action item, correct, Madam Clerk?
That's correct.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve?
Mayor Pro Tem, I
Councilmember
move
Nelson.
that the mayor and council authorize the city manager to proceed with an audit by utility construction company for costs and expected savings associated with a citywide conversion from lights to an LED project.
I'll second. Thank you, gentlemen. Motion by Councilmember Nelson, second by Councilmember Buish. Any discussion?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Councilmember Nelson.
I would like to apologize for being out of order.
Apology accepted, and we won't hold anything against you for APS.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Councilmember Buish.
Are you working at all with any other entities in the Douglas area that we might receive some economies of scale? I don't know if that's more than what you want to do down here, but just out of curiosity, looking at other facilities.
We plan to go to the neighboring cities around here. We haven't approached them on that yet, but the economy of scales can be realized with the raw materials, which is a major portion of this, by all the other activity going in Central Phoenix. So if we haven't pinned it down yet, but if we choose to stay manufacturer, they're already in production of this light fixture, and the economy of scale is for that.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussion? Councilmember.
For these LED lights, what is the lumens per watt on LED lights? Do you know offhand?
Yes, I do. That's a moving target because it's always getting better. Right now, for a good street light, it's between 110 and 130, and for a good indoor light, it's now at around 140 lumens per watt. But that every time you think you got that figured out for a project, it's getting better every 6 months.
But LED is not better than fluorescent though, it's lumens per watt.
It is now, yeah. It's just recently in the past couple of years where it finally broke that. In the past, it lasted longer, but it was about as efficient. But technology now, it is less energy to make the same amount of lumens of light. And on top of that too,
I've been out of the business for a few years. I understand, but that used to be my business in my working days. But I always felt that fluorescence was the best lumens per watt. It's available, but you're saying now that LED is surpassed.
that what you said?
Exactly, that's why a lot of indoor lights haven't been done yet. And that's why everybody's doing it right now, all these cities around us are all doing it now because the technology's finally caught up and the cost of the equipment has gone down. Does that make sense?
Any further discussion? Ms. Lopez? Anyone else? Just a couple questions here. So you mentioned that other cities are doing it. Can you give us some examples, maybe close to home?
Tucson would be the closest one to home.
So we would be right behind Tucson,
In Phoenix, there's
is what you're saying. Wow.
Yeah, Tucson and Casa Grande are done. Glendale's halfway through. Phoenix has just started. So.
Are you listening, Phoenix? Wow. Okay, great. Kind of semi-related question here. We have this project that's been going on for a while now. I don't know if you've heard of it. We really want to light our D, the hill. Okay. And so some of the conversation has been, unfortunately, I don't think we have any more organizers here tonight, but some of the conversation has been to actually, well, leader, yeah, actually do, is to have LED lighting for that particular project. Have you been in conversation at all with our organizers for that?
No, I haven't heard about this project yet.
Well, it's Mr. Daniels?
Yes.
Okay. Miss Montoya. So.
We'll exchange cards.
That's great. Thank you so much. Any questions for us or anything that you'd like to mention?
No. Not at this point. Once we get into this thing a little bit more detailed, we'll need support from the city to make sure we give you guys what you want. But as of now, I think we're good.
Okay. Thank you so much for your presentation. Thank you so much. Roll call, please.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes. Mayor Pro Tem votes yes. Motion carries. Not how you feel about that.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Councilmember Nelson.
I move to approve consent agenda items, including item A, expenditures for the month of October 2017 totaling $1,557,167.46. Item B, meeting minutes from October 11th, 2017, with the amendment to page 9, item 16. It's the last line prior to item 17. I think it should be removed. It's there in error.
Point of order, should that be removed?
Second.
All right. Motion by Councilmember Nelson, second by Councilmember Donahue. Roll call, please.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes. Mayor Pro Tem votes yes. Motion carries. Item number 11, discussion decision on approval of liquor license application series number 9 submitted by Michael Joseph Basha on behalf of Food City number 112 located at 1300 San Antonio Avenue. Mr. Russell.
Mayor and Council, we have a liquor license application for Series 9 by Mr. Basha for Food City. It was posted for the required 20 days and no opposition has been filed or noted by the staff. Recommend approval of the license.
May I have a motion to approve?
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that the mayor and council approve the liquor license application series number 9 submitted by Michael Joseph Basha on behalf of Food City number 112 located at 1300 San Antonio Avenue.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Nelson, second by Councilmember Lopez. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Mayor Pro Tem votes no. Motion carries. Item number 12, discussion decision on approval of liquor license application series number 10 submitted by Jody L. Vernola on behalf of Good To Go located at 1050 East 10th Street. Mr. Russell.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, this is another liquor license application for a Series 10 license by Good To Go, and it was also posted for the required 20 days, and no opposition has been filed against that application, so therefore we recommend approval.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that the mayor and council approve the liquor license application series number 10 submitted by Jody L. Vernola on behalf of Good To Go located at 1050 East 10th Street.
Do I have a second? Second.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Nelson, second by Councilmember Don Hewish. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Ward two?
Yes.
Ward three?
Yes.
Ward four?
No.
Ward five?
No. Mayor Pro Tem votes no. Motion does not pass.
But isn't it kind of,
Are we allowed to go back or? Sure, I'll go ahead and allow it at this time, Mr. Councilmember Hewish.
isn't it kind of, doesn't it insult your intelligence to vote on something we have no control over? I would like to recuse myself from all these licenses. Can I do that, Mr. Flores? To me, the CBS situation is a typical example. We voted no, what happened? They gave him a license. So I guess, what is the point in us going through the exercise of having it here in the council? Well,
Mr. Hewish, Mayor and Council, the city's role in considering these liquor licenses has always been that of recommendation for the state. The state has always had the last say-so over it, but this is just the first bureaucratic process that we have for the approval. Now, once it's denied by the city of Douglas, then the petitioner could always go to the state and request approval, but even at the state level, they're not guaranteed to approve the petition or the application. But I think it's important that at least you go on the record. You can't change your vote now, but other members of the council that voted no, be nice to have on the record your reasons for that, because the Arizona Liquor License and Control will be asking for that, and they typically, so if you want to just take a few minutes and give your thoughts on that. I think we got your perspective, Mr. Hewitt, and so I would just ask that other members that voted no go on record as to why not.
well, my reason is it insults my intelligence. That's my reason.
Ms. Lopez?
I'm going to say what I feel about good people. I will not support good people. Last year, on November 20th, my son was parked there for 3 hours, and an employee from Good To Go saw my son and refused to help him. I wrote a letter to Good To Go just explaining to them the situation and asking them for just, to educate their employees about CPR and all that. They never wrote back. They never answered my letter. So if they're not going to answer my letter, I feel that they don't need my support. I'm so sorry. But that's bad.
Thank you, sir.
And we're certainly, entitled to our own convictions. We're here as representatives. We don't take polls. We don't govern by polling or what have you. It's just based upon our experience and our own convictions or what have you. I've gone on record, and it's already actually in print. Members can of the community can look back to see what has been out there already. I have nothing further to add. Thank you, Mr. Flores.
Thank you.
Item number 13, discussion decision on approval of fund balance transfer from other funds into the self-funded insurance fund in the amount of $334,864.71. Mr. Russell.
Mayor Pro Tem, Council, if you would allow me, I'd like to yield the floor to Mr. Rosa.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and members of council. This is an item as recommended by our auditors because we started accounting for self-funded insurance in a different manner in fiscal year 16 and 17, and that was in a manner that we are efficient, cash-wise, how our performance is in that way. So, because we needed to do this, we needed to transfer prior years' balances from the self-funded performance over into this newly created self-funded insurance fund. Because it's such a large item, $334,000, we needed a council agenda item to get this recognized and approved. Where does this fund balance come from? It comes from, since we started being a self-funded insurance city in 2013, we've incurred a surplus on our performance. So we benchmark ourselves, this is where we need to be, and we've exceeded that. We've actually saved money over the years. So this is our actual savings. So we're taking it off of the funds that have earned those savings and placing it under one fund where it's now going to be recognized. It's an accounting matter. It's more of a housekeeping issue, but definitely it's something that needs to be recognized because it is a large amount of fund balance that you're taking away from all these different funds, the general fund, the HERF fund, LTAP, airport, housing, water, sewer, and sanitation funds. They all contributed to these savings over the years. Now you're taking that away and putting it into and accounting for it in a different way through its own fund.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Councilmember Hughes.
Move that the mayor and council approve transferring fund balance from other funds into the self-funded insurance fund in the amount of $334,000, $864.74.
Mr. Mayor, for example, just at the point of order, it should be 74 cents.
Should be 74 cents?
Yes. You're correct, Mr. Chair.
You're correct. Motion by Councilmember Donnie Hewish, seconded by Councilmember Ivan Hewish. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes. Mayor Pro Tem votes yes, motion carries. Item number 14. Discussion decision on approval of resolution number 17-1251, a resolution of the Mayor and Council of the City of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the renewal of an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Douglas and the Douglas Unified School District number 27 for purposes of providing paramedic and animal control internship and externship experience to high school students in the City of Douglas. Mr. Russell, please.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, this is a continuation of an existing IGA that we've had that actually lapsed back in 2013, and USD has requested that we initiate again. Basically, it allows us through those specific positions within control and with the paramedics with the fire department to allow us to bring in a high school student intern. Typically, we bring in college then, if they have a high school intern with students, that this allows us to bring them in
Outstanding. May I have a motion to approve?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Councilmember Donnie Hewish.
I move that the mayor and council approve resolution number 17-1251.
Do I have a second? She beat you, sir. Motion by Councilmember Donnie Hewish, seconded by Councilmember Lopez. Any discussion? I'll just say real quick, I do have a question actually. So, what's the history of this? Have we done this before?
We have. It's been several years since we've done it.
How long, do you know?
Well, this one expired in 2013, so it's been prior to that.
Wow.
We haven't done one. Most of, like I said, most of the internships we've done in recent history have been through the university.
Do we have any USD representatives here tonight? No, not that I can see. Oh, well, great. Good news. Roll call, please.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes. Mayor Pro Tem votes yes, motion carries. Item number 15, discussion decision on approval of resolution number 17-1252, resolution of the Mayor and Council of the City of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, adopting the sister city prevention and emergency response plan between the City of Agua Prieta, Sonora, Cochise County, and the City of Douglas, Arizona, in 2017 by reference and establishing an effective date. Mr. Russell, please.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, if you'll permit me on this agenda item, I'd like to ask Chief McGold to come up and speak.
Absolutely. Chief.
It's on.
Mayor Pro Tem, Council, good evening. This is a renewal Sister City plan. The original plan was actually signed by Mayor and Council back in the year 2000. So it's a renewal. What has occurred though is many things have changed. Back in the year 2000, it was actually an emergency response plan for mainly hazmat situations, cross-border response. Since then, it's actually evolved now into an all-hazard response. And it's been growing throughout the years. And then it was regular structure fires, and we went into forest fires, and now it's actually encompassed into everything. City of Nogales helps out with EMS. We don't do the EMS portion of it, so we won't be allowed to send any ambulances into Mexico whatsoever due to the amount of medications and everything else that we have. We are allowed to send one fire truck that's already insured through the City of Douglas to be able to cross. It's already been vetted, and it's actually been inventoried on both sides of the border, so the Mexican aduana knows exactly what equipment is on our fire truck, and we actually have to take our IDs when we cross. We are actually escorted with the Mexican law enforcement agencies to whatever fire scene we need. It doesn't necessarily have to be a fire truck. It could be just a pickup truck or any type of personnel, where we just offer guidance, if you will, on certain situations. Please understand that the City of Odessa has also come over to City of Douglas and helped us in the past with structure fires. So it goes both ways. The only thing is, we've been working on this new one for about a year or so, and due to the political climate that we've had, we really didn't know if EPA was going to exist. So as of now, as of October 1st, yes, the new budget's been approved, and yes, we do have EPA still in place. This is actually under the U.S. EPA Border 2020 program. With that, that's where it all started back in the day. It was actually Border 2010 at that time. And the good thing about this is that now we actually have an updated list and an actual idea, the guidance, if you will, on how to respond, who needs to be called, if we have a major incident. Council has to be involved, of course, with the city manager. City police chief and I are actually working, completing our emergency operation plan for the City of Douglas. There's another plan within this plan that has to be done. And with the way the world is right now for mass casualties, if you will, we need to be prepared. And so I would appreciate if you guys would actually go ahead and approve this. If you guys have any questions for me, I'd like to answer them.
Sure, if you could just stand by me. Councilmember Donahue.
I move that the mayor and council approve resolution number 17-1252.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Beat you again, sir, I'm sorry. Motion by Councilmember Donahue, seconded by Councilmember Lopez. Any discussion?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Councilmember Nelson.
I just want to thank Chief Novoa again for all your effort and your staff for everything you do for the city of Douglas.
I'll second that motion.
Complimented by Councilmember Nelson, seconded by Councilmember Bush. Any further discussion? Just want to echo that as well. I do have a question though. You said that only one is covered for this?
One fire truck at this time. We actually have a staff car and 2 other support vehicles that are able to cross. We do have some hazmat equipment that actually gets to cross also into Mexico. One thing that I do want to add is I was appointed as the co-chair for U.S. EPA Region 9 over a year ago through EPA and San Francisco office. And we recently had our first EPA coordinator, one of my staff members, that was actually named also. It's the first time the City of Douglas actually has both the coordinator and the co-chair for that.
And his name is?
Jerry Romo. And he's doing a fantastic job. And the thing is that we have to cover from Douglas to the Pacific Ocean. That's Region 9. That's Region 9.
So, what does it take to cover more vehicles for this?
It's actually city insurance. We actually have the only city in Arizona that actually has insurance coverage for our municipal vehicles to go across into Mexico.
Are you listening, Nogales and San Luis? That's great. Awesome. Okay. So is there any way that we could expand that?
We are currently working at this time with EPA to obtain a grant at this time to, actually my staff will be given a class, if you will, for new hazmat technicians in Odessa. If everything works out, it will be early part of next year. It'll be a 200-hour course, which means that the Agua Prieta firefighters will be, and surrounding areas to include Cananea, Naco, Esqueda, will be trained in the hazmat technician capability, as we've been working for many, many years to be able to take care and mitigate of issues on that side, emergency situations on that side, before they become an issue for the U.S. The other way it actually helps us is to make sure that Washington and Mexico City know that we're serious about the new port of entry, and that we're going to be taking care of things on our own side before it becomes a problem for the other side.
Awesome. Great. Now, and I know that it's really not, I'm sorry for some of the questions, though. As far as the medevac goes, I know that that's like a whole different animal, but are they able to cross over?
Yes, Mexico is still able to cross over their ambulances. Port of entry gets to vet them. Port of entry decides whether or not this patient will go through in the ambulance, or if they call us and we pick them up at the port of entry.
So what about air assets?
Air assets, believe it or not, this is actually very interesting. Our company, Lifeline, which is here, Medtrans Corporation, actually already has an international agreement. They actually have aircraft that fly internationally to fly patients cross borders to other countries if need be. So if one of us was in Mexico with our membership, we're an MLCO or whatever, and we get sick over there, we need to be medevaced out, Lifeline actually takes care of that. And we're actually going to be taking members of Lifeline to the Arizona-Mexico Commission meeting, as they want to check out the airports in Puerto Peñasco here in late this month, to make sure that we can actually go ahead and have their flights go in uninterruptedly and take,
So
bring back
these particular Lifeline?
They actually have fixed wing. They're actually the largest aircraft medical company in the United States right now.
Ours, ours here?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Awesome. And Naco, I did not forget you. Thank you so much for being there for us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
If I could, real quick, I want to brag just a little bit as well. The relationship that Douglas has with Agua Prieta, and we brag on that all the time, but this particular relationship is has been spotlighted at the Board 2020, and the other border communities are emulating or working to emulate what we have in place now. So again, Douglas and Agua Prieta are leading the way for the border communities in the state of Arizona.
Is there any way that we can issue some kind of a press release for that? Just, it's a success story. It absolutely is.
Absolutely. We can actually give you all the details, and with the equipment and the training that's been going across, Jerry's doing an excellent job.
Yeah, and please, we need to give recognition where recognition is due. Absolutely. Please let them know on behalf. Very proud of it. Thank you so much, Mr. Manager.
Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4? Yes. Ward 5?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem votes yes, motion carries.
Excuse me, can I make one?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Out of order.
Perfect.
I know that you guys actually have to go
That
ahead.
sign these accordingly, but we would appreciate, and we actually have it already in place, to actually have the formal signature for this sister city plan on November 29th between Douglas and Agua Prieta. The names are there, so who's actually going to be signing at the next U.S. EPA Border 2020 meeting in conjunction with the Arizona-Mexico conference.
So in other words, maybe before the conference starts, the Arizona Mexico conference starts, we're going to have the actual signing of the document at the conclusion of the Board's briefing.
Standing.
Okay.
Great, thank you so much. Awesome. All right, next item, item number 16. Discussion decision on approval of resolution number 17-1253, a resolution of the Mayor and Council of the City of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the acceptance of grant funding from the Southeastern Arizona Government Organization, SEGO, Legacy Foundation, to be used to cover operational costs of the Cochise Connection Route in the transit program in the City of Douglas and surrounding communities. Mr. Russell.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem and Council, as you know, back in August earlier this year, we began the Cochise Connections route between Douglas and Bisbee and Sierra Vista. And I'm proud to say that in January 2018, we should be picking up Edison as well and making that complete circle. The SEGO obtained some funding through the Legacy Foundation to partner with the City of Douglas in order to create this route. It's approximately $60,000 a year. We guarantee 1 year funding, and we're asking you to approve that. Again, it's only guaranteed for the 1 year, but we hope that we can take next year as well.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Councilmember Don Hughes.
I move that the mayor and council approve resolution number 17-1253, -1253.
Have a second?
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Donnie Hewish, seconded by Councilmember Ken Nelson. Any discussion? Again, another, success story. It's great. The fact that we're operating at City of Douglas, second largest, that's something to be extremely proud of. And congratulations to Benson for coming on board. All right. Roll call, please.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4? Ward 5?
Mayor Pro Tem votes yes, motion carries. Item number 17, discussion decision on approval of resolution number 17-1254, resolution of the Mayor and Council of the City of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing a ceremonial event to be designated as the City of Douglas Christmas tree lighting event for the city and surrounding community. Mr. Russell.
Mr. Mayor, Pro Tem, and Council, I'd like to give the floor to Brenda Aguilar, the City Clerk. This is her project.
Absolutely. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, as you know, this will be the second annual Christmas tree lighting event. And Mayor Oliva would like to memorialize this event through this resolution. It certainly was very successful last year. We had just under 300 attendees, and we hope that this year, because it has been expanded, we are having bands that will be playing, and we do have a great program. So we do hope that we have a lot more of a response this year, and so we would recommend that you do approve this item.
May I have a motion to approve?
I move that the mayor and council approve resolution number 17-1254.
Second? Motion by Councilmember Nelson, seconded by Councilmember Ivan Hewish. Any discussion? Just another bragging thing. Our city youth council is going to be performing that night. Is that correct?
Mr. Mayor, for members of the council, that is correct. The City Youth Council will be performing the national anthem. Our City Youth Council President, Susamen Luna, will be the lead vocalist. And we do have Vice President, obviously, also performing. She will be present, as well as our Treasurer and Secretary.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, item number 18, adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Sorry. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4? Yes. Ward 5?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem votes yes. Motion carries.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Nelson, seconded by Councilmember Donnie Hewish. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.
I'm gonna call you.
Too, man. Be careful going home. I know you're tired, brother. I know you're tired.
Yeah, I am. Short drive.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, tomorrow I got. Oh, doing well. Anytime I'm in you guys' company, I always do it.
Do you get back?
I'll do that. Doing well.
I could be heard 4 blocks away. Are you kidding me? I got a text and said, "Oh, we work good." Have fun.
Good. I know I'm good, but I'm not saying anything.
You get that discriminate?